We're always looking for new Jeep mods here on the channel, and just like most of you, I was sitting on Instagram when I stumbled upon a custom shift knob for the Jeep Wrangler. While I know you could do it for the manual, I didn't know it was possible for the automatic. A quick Google search later, and I discovered the company American Brother Designs. They're based out in Nevada. They have an awesome machine shop, and they build some of the top-notch billet machine parts for Jeeps, Mopars, Wranglers, all sorts of different things. We've got some custom products that we're gonna get installed today and show them off. So we're inside the Jeep now, about to get started with the installation. It's not too bad. They have some good videos online on how to help out. The cool thing with these is that we actually went through the order as a regular customer. So when we placed the order, we were able to go through, pick out the Mopar officially licensed logos or the transfer case pattern that we wanted. Now Ryan wanted to keep the gold and bronze theme going on with his Jeep, so we actually ordered them in the anvil clear coat on the outside with the 392 gold on the inset of the two-door logo, and then on the transfer case shift knob pattern. Now on mine, it's pretty neat too, because when we go out, you can actually check it out. Mine has the 4 auto, 4 high, neutral, and 4 low, so it is set up just to match whatever transfer case you do have. You can choose a logo or whatever you'd like, or no logo on there if you want to keep it a little bit more stealthy, but I kind of like all the ability you have to customize it. Now it does take about 30 days. They are a USA-based machine shop. All of these parts are machined, painted, and even get the logos all in-house, and then they're shipped right to your door. We'll show you a little bit of tips and tricks, but like I said, the install video that they have is pretty good. I did mine already, so I kind of have a good understanding, but that's enough talking here. Why don't we rip this stock one off and get this good looking one installed in its place. So now that we have the Jeep inside the shop, first thing you want to do is go ahead and disconnect your battery and make sure that this is in park before you start. Now they make them for manual and automatic, but just make sure it's in park. This is the factory shift boot, so what you're going to want to do is kind of think about the way it's oriented here. Go ahead and give it a good pull, and there are 4 clips around the border. So we'll actually pull this up over the knob. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now you can actually just pull that up, and this chrome piece stays here. After that is pulled up, go ahead and grab a T25 Torx bit. You're not gonna need very many tools, but remove this bolt right here. Another big tip I'm gonna give you guys is, if you see in here, this is all exposed down to your transmission tunnel, so don't drop the screws. You hear that, Ryan?
I'm not doing it.
I know, I am, which means I'm probably going to drop your screws. And just set it in here. Now with that out, this is the cool part. You can actually pull your shift knob out. And yeah, so you can see that we kind of have the inset here. This lever, that's how you activate it. So that's why I was so confused. I was like, how do you get a different shift knob that can still activate this?
And I had the same question too. I'm like, well, how does it?
Ryan's like, how do you even these things do? We do not need this collar or this section, but we do need to get the actual boot detached because the boot is gonna go on the American Brothers. If you look here on the side of the collar, there's a little section here and a little section there. You're gonna grab yourself a small pick. Sorry for bumping you, Ryan, but I'm actually not sorry. Go ahead and push this down and give the collar just a little bit of a push. So you give it a little bit of push on that side, keeping it firmly. Give it a little bit of push on this side. So we can actually just pop that out. And now we have our leather shift boot, which does not match anything else in the Jeep. So it's really cool that they actually use silver trim here, and you've got bronze on your dash and then nothing on the top pad. We do not need this. So Ryan, we can set this aside. We do not need this. We'll keep that on the trophy wall. We need to keep the actual leather boot. So we're gonna pull this off of here just by giving a little bit of pull. It is glued, so, but it doesn't really take much to come off. See that? Now what you have to do here, this is where it gets a little bit scary, right? So you're gonna take your boot just like this. So you've got stitching on the front, stitching on the back side. You're gonna take your boot and you're gonna get a nice pair of scissors or a knife and give yourself a 1/4 inch cut right here and right here. Don't go too far. Do it little by little and test the knob out while you're doing it. We're gonna give it a cut here to give ourselves a little bit of relief to go over this piece, Ryan. So it's got to slide over that, and we need a little bit of relief so it slides over nicely. And now you want to make sure you do it in between the stitch here. You don't want to do it at the stitch, or else if you do it, it can keep pulling. Like if you rip your pants right at the seam, it keeps going.
It happens way too often.
It does, especially getting into my lifted Jeep. So we're going to take this and just right in the middle there. Now we can set our boot aside here and get out our American Brother Designs shift knob. It's good. It's a good match. And it's painted, it's gloss, and I like the logo. The logo's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Except you never have your top on, so.
So it's kind of like
misleading. Yeah. So what you've got going on is you've got actually 4 set screws. There's one here, one there, and one there. We're gonna remove this longer one from the top. We're gonna do it over the cup holder so we don't absolutely destroy it. So now we can pull this collar out of the shift knob and set the shift knob aside. So this collar is actually what makes everything possible. We're gonna actually be sliding this onto the transmission shift knob here, but first, before we do that, we're gonna set our long set screw in the cup holder and make sure that all the rest of these set screws here are just in far enough so that the shift knob can get over on the outside. And then if you look through there, Ryan, you don't want them in there at all, so that way it can slip on to this, you know what I mean? So see how this just slips on nicely here? The one tip I will give you, so all 3 of these along the bottom here, they are short set screws. We're gonna take this one off here, try not to drop it down Ryan's transmission, and we're gonna put it to the top one, right? So this was a short one, we put it right here. The way to look at the boot, see how it's see how this has a kick out here?
Yeah.
If you flip it both ways, it's the same. So the kick out is the same. Now what you wanna look at is you see how this length of material is a little bit longer here, and this one is a little bit shorter. This length that's longer goes towards the front of your Jeep.
Okay.
So when you're putting your knob through, you want to kind of do it that way. So see that? You actually have a little bit of room to error here, and it's Ryan's Jeep, so I have even more room of error. So I'm just going to get that relief just to kind of go over this section, and then there's actually a little groove in here that you're going to use the included zip tie once you're at the end to actually get this boot to stay secured on here. You're thinking zip tie, oh my gosh, is that holding up anything? It's literally just to keep the boot from moving around. See that window, how that's slotted?
Yeah.
What you're gonna do is you're gonna slide that window where these 2 are. See that? Onto the knob. So what we're looking for in this exact section, Ryan, is that your Jeep logo is straight here, kind of the way you want it at the top. So this isn't, it's not like that.
Yeah.
It's sitting the right way.
Right.
When you have this on here, you want to make sure that the weight is resting on the shift knob. Now what I mean by that is that this is down as far as it can and you can go like this. But it's just resting the weight. It's not like pushing all the way down, it's just resting the weight. Now what's so important is that this relief is actually in different locations depending on which knob you get. So mine was actually over here. This is going to go all the way up. See that this is the 2-hole location, Ryan? That's going to go into your slots here. And you're gonna work it so that you can just see the bottom of that one. So we got our Allen key, it's a 3/32 Allen key. And I've got it so far down that literally the Allen key is touching the bottom of the channel. Now, as we're doing this, we got some room left and right, but we wanna make sure that the top of the knob is the right way, correct orientation. We're gonna snug this up. Give this side one right over here, give that a tighten up. There's one along the back side here. Now that original one that we put in here, Ryan, you remember that was a short one that we put in there. So we're gonna take this one back out now. That one, the short one goes in the top. The only one that gets the long set screw is the one that has 2 holes, and it's the one at the bottom. So we're gonna snug these up, get all of our set screws tightened up. Now what's cool is at this point, this is it's secure.
Yeah.
It's on there. And when we set this back into place, we're gonna put it all the way down so we can just see that. But you see, like, we have to push this down. But either way, this set screw is now what we're gonna snug up right here. So we're gonna snug that up, and as you can see, this is the only one that actually goes through that channel. So this comes out a little bit, and that's what holds this on. Now when this is on, and you've got it snugged up, don't go crazy, you should not be able to pull this up. So I can't pull your knob off while you're driving and be like, oh my goodness. What we're gonna check for right here is that we can push this down. Feels secure, side to side. And that's kind of what I wanted to tell you guys. How do you activate the shifter? By pushing it down. So what this does on the factory one, you can see this is spring loaded to go back inwards. When you push this up onto that stalk that was in there to where you snub that down, this will push out. And then when you push it in, it depresses it. What American Brothers Design does is actually, all you have to do is push it down. Now while you have it at this step, start your Jeep up with the parking brake on. And we're gonna test the functionality of our shift knob. So there I just put it in reverse, put it in neutral, put it in drive, put it back into park, back into drive, and I'm just pushing it down. So everything is working like it does. I don't feel anything loose. It's not sliding around down here. Once you test the functionality a few times, the last step before you button this up together is to actually utilize the zip tie that is included in the kit, which is not this one. We must have lost ours somewhere in packaging, but we're gonna go ahead and you can feel there's like a groove in the machining. and that's where the zip tie is gonna set. So it'll kind of sit in like this. And then what I did with mine, because we lost the zip ties, is I actually put the head of the zip tie towards the front because there's more space up there. We're gonna tighten this up really well. The other thing to watch when you're doing this is to see where the orientation is, right? So you don't want this to be, because you can have this crooked too. Push this down, check it out. We're gonna get the leather down. So if you give it a little push, like that. There you go. You're good. There's your before, which is like the size of it's like a potato. It's like a small potato. Now you've gone to 100% billet, USA made shifter, but that's how it activates. You know, that's really the main goal of this, is to show you brand new products and how they work. But anyways, so here's kind of the before and after of the transfer case knob. Now this is kind of neat because it is similar in size, and you can select what pattern you have. So on my 392, I have the, you know, the 4 auto, 4 high. The 4xEs have actually 5 selection modes. You can pick what you want. So with the transfer case one, it's not as hard. Actually, it's kind of the same, similar process. This one, you've got to basically just pull it off. Mine actually took a little bit more force. And there's gonna be the exact same 25 Torx key on this side. So it's over on this side, Ryan. You can't see it until I take it off here, but I will show it to you. So once you have the screw removed from that side, you can pull off your transfer case selector. See right there's the screw. So what you're gonna do with this, you got kind of 2 pieces, and we're gonna push outwards on the white piece inside here. I'll show you once I pull it off. So I was able to get it disconnected here. Now we'll pull the transfer case shifter out, and this one's got 3 set screws. This is a lot easier than doing the actual automatic shifter. We're gonna back these out so it actually slip over. Same thing applies here. What you wanna look at for which is the right side, this side that has like more leather, that goes towards the outside of the vehicle. This side that has less, right here, that's your inside of the vehicle. So outside more leather, inside less leather. Push it through with a 3/32 Allen key. We're gonna get this kind of straightened out. See that? Got it kind of straight in here. Once it's all tightened up, we're gonna get the same thing like we did on our last time. I'm gonna jump back out of the vehicle and grab a zip tie, and we'll be good to go to push this down and close it out. So we've got another part to install here after we did the transfer case and the shift lever. So these both turned out really nice on here. The activation of the automatic transmission is perfect. That's really cool. They also make a bunch of other products. This is one of them here that I've got out, and this is the radio control and headlight bezel trim. So all your control knobs as well as your headlight on and off, they actually custom paint these. We've got 2 colors we're in between on what we're gonna do on Ryan's, Anvil and the 392 Gold. Honestly, I'm leaning more towards the Anvil, but we're gonna try them out. What's neat about this is they are officially Mopar licensed products, and then they also paint match them. So we've got the Anvil ones on here. Now, the one thing I will tell you is they are different for each knob. They should feel firm when you're pushing them in. I really like the way they look, so let's give these a final kind of push in. Don't go crazy. Yeah, there we go. This end one. So I do like the look of these. They're kind of really subtle with the Anvil clear coat. I wasn't a fan of these on Amazon just because they're not the exact color. If you're going for an accent, it's really tricky to find like an orange or a red that matches the rest of the Jeep. This is paint matched to the vehicle. Mine are a little bit more bright and kind of out there because I decided to color match a bikini, but we'll check those out as well as the rest of what we installed today before we close it out. On today's viewer rig of the video, we're checking out Gary's 2023 Jeep Wrangler High Tide as well as his 1988 YJ. He actually said that he had the YJ since he was 16 years old and he's now 41. Did a ton of mods to it when he was in college. He said the only original parts are the steering wheel, the body, and the transmission, LOL. The Pumpkin Jeep is a 23 High Tide. He said he saw it at a Jeep dealership and just had to pick it up. He wanted a brand new Jeep for a while now and honestly had to set it next to that YJ, and it looks fantastic. If you guys want to have a chance at your rig being featured, be sure to hit us up through Instagram or send us an email. Now, we did Ryan's Jeep. He decided to go with the Anvil and the 392 Gold with the Jeep logo as well as his transfer case kind of logo on the other side. And then on mine, I changed it up a bit and definitely had to go with that bikini. So I got bikini on here with the officially licensed Mopar 392 logo like that. And then on my transfer case, I know I was mentioning it, but here I've got 4 high auto, 4 high part-time. This is the correct 392 transfer case. And then the bikini blue just pops. I mean, I really like the way it turned out on this Jeep, and Ryan's, his looks really clutch. And kind of that customization factor, and almost for me, it feels like the old school rat rod kind of feel. Then after we did that, we got it done on my dad's Jeeps too. So he got the Willys logo on the Gobi, and then we also went with the transfer case selector. I think on all 3 of ours, we just chose the transfer case diagram because I like the way that looks. Either way, after we did all that, we added on the radio and the tuning bezels here. These turned out tremendous. I really like the way that they look. They fit on here so tight, it's almost incredible. So we love to support our made in the USA guys, and American Brother Designs really hooked it up. If you guys are interested in purchasing anything from them, be sure to use the code DRC10. You'll save 10%, and it just supports a USA made company. Let us know in the comments which one you like the best. Till next time though, my name is Matt, Ryan's behind the camera, and we want you to get out there and earn yours.